Erik, thank you so much for coming on Potter's Pod. I've got to say, the first time we've had a guest as smartly dressed as you.
Thank you. No, I just like to wear a suit, and especially when it's comfy as well.
Yeah, I think from now on in, I appreciate for people listening to this rather than watching it. Erik's wearing a fantastic checked grey suit, black shirt, obviously matching trousers. Looks $1 million.
Thank you.
For the people that are listening. People watching will be able to appreciate it in its visual form, which is fantastic.
That's good.
What we tend to do in this podcast is go back and talk all about your life and your career, talk obviously extensively about your time at Stoke.
Yeah.
But do you mind if we start here and now?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yeah. How's everything going?
Good. I'm doing well. The family's healthy, so that's at the end of the day, that's the main thing.
And football-wise?
Football-wise, unfortunately, is nothing came up for me this season. So I'm thinking of like retirement and stuff. Looking in the meanwhile, looking for other jobs as well, doing inside football.
What are you thinking?
I did the PFA course, Emotional Intelligence, Leadership and Psychology. But it's really interesting, obviously, doing that course at the end of your career. And then you relate, obviously, what you did during your career. Been through some ups and downs, obviously. But I can relate with that a lot, going to the downs in my career. And I think if I had that support when I was that age, younger, I could definitely deal with it better. So I believe in this modern day of football, there's a lot of grey area in the support and how we need to support the players. So I believe there's a big gap there to help the first team players, but also academy players.
Are you ready for potentially quite a deep question this early on?
Yeah, fine.
What do you think you learnt in this course that you're doing that you really wish you could have implemented in your own career earlier? Something very specific. And what one player that you played with do you think, I know what you were thinking now? Is there someone in the Stoke dressing room where you think I could have handled that differently?
I think from a lot of people know what I've been through at PSV. I had 2 injuries short after each other, broke my 5th metatarsal, and after the second one, I missed the Euros. So
2012?
Yes, 2012, and that was just the year I think before I came to Stoke. So the first time I had the injury, it took me 6 months, 7 months to recover. Second time, it took me a bit longer because I want to take my time. Of course, I had to deal with the news as well that I'm not going to play the Euros. Then I took my time to recover and then came back. And the first game I came back, got a red card, and then everything just like went black. So doing that course made you realize that it's normal to go to difficult times. And this is based on playing wise, but I think, and I know a lot of players will go to hard times as well, personally, in family, friends, or whatever. And knowing now what I know, everything now, I think you just need that support of having a good conversation with someone, open up.
When you say everything went black, am I right in thinking this is the moment when you had an argument with a window?
Yes, sure. Yeah, but I can laugh about it now, and it's been a big learning curve for me, obviously. But I'm left-handed, left-footed, so I never hit something with my right hand, and I did it with my right hand. So I just knew when that happened, it took me another 4 months to recover. So those 2 years is just like a misfit in my career. But then again, every negative has a positive, and looking back at it now, it only made me stronger.
So for people that might not know what we're talking about, you were playing for PSV, you'd come back from injury, it was on the 67th minute, you got a straight red card. Yeah. And on the way to the changing room, there was a glass panel as you walk into the PSV tunnel, and you quite famously hit the glass panel and then ripped all your... Was it
the main vein was open, all the muscles and the tendons. Yeah. So if the guy wasn't there, and I spoke with a lot of people and had previous interviews about it as well, if the guy it's called Matt, if he wasn't there, then I might be not sitting here next to you on the sofa. So
because you might have bled out.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It was that bad?
It was that bad, yeah.
Because I've seen the pictures and seen the video, and I wasn't going to talk about this until a little bit later, but if you see the video and it's quite openly available, you see instantly where the camera pans this glass panel, and there's obviously a lot of blood.
Yeah, my main vein was open. So the guy, like I said, Matt, when it happened, he grabbed my wrist in his suit, and he said I need to calm down. And then basically I came to sentence and like, what happened? And he's like, yeah, just smashed the window. I was like, oh snap. So then I went straight to the hospital, and that night I had an operation.
Because at no point in all the research I've done did it seem that serious. Do you know what I mean? It's like
no. We obviously you're gonna keep that off the media and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, it was really serious. It was really serious, and like that took me another 4 months to recover from that as well. Yeah.
Because as you're walking off the pitch, you swing for something. You aim to kick something, don't you? So you're obviously wound up. Do you think that there needs to be more kind of help for players to deal with high intensity environments?
The thing is, like, if you look at the full picture now, I never processed that I never played Euros, and I played all the qualification games for the Euros. We qualified. Then you had your first injury. You come back thinking, okay, you're going to play the rest of the season, and you're going to play the Euros. And then you get another injury. And even then, I had two options: to have straight away an operation, or to put it in a cast and train in the gym. And hopefully it will connect again, and then no operation needed. So then after that, you find out, go to the hospital and speak to the doctor. And he said, like, all these technical terms. I was like, listen, I just black and white. Like, do I need an operation? Can I play Euros? And he said, no. So looking back at it now, you never have processed that feeling that and talked about a goal, a target in your career that you want to play for national team. That's one. But then playing an end tournament, I think that's the biggest dream of any young boy, especially for your country. So I never talk about it. I just put it away and just continued my career basically. And I believe there's so many incidents, small things just build up. And at one point it has to come out. And unfortunately, with me, it came out earlier during my career. But then the same time, I'm just like, now looking back at it, it made me strong. It made me realize that a lot of things are important, and football is just fun. So from that point, I just made football fun.
We will talk about Stoke in a second, but you said in an interview in 2015, I think it was, around like mid-2010s-ish, that when you are growing up in Holland, in the Netherlands, that one of the dreams is to play in either Spain or in England, because that's where football kind of takes you. And was it around that time as well where you'd been linked with Newcastle?
Yes.
So from your own point of view, and I'm not trying to psychoanalyze the situation, although we do like to on the podcast, you in your head, you're thinking, right, I'm not playing at the Euros. I've not got this move to Newcastle, which would have been obviously before you even thought about Stoke. And so you've got all those things going on in your head, and that's what you're talking about with this course and where you are now. Yeah,
and the course makes you just dig deeper in yourself and basically look in the mirror. But then also it makes you realize what is important for you and what is important to stay mentally healthy. And especially now, like nowadays, this modern day, you can talk about mental health. Back in the days, let me say back in the days, but it was not like something you would say. We've been learned to keep our head down, and especially as a young player, you keep your head down and just work really hard for your position, and you continue doing that. And I believe there has to be a support, and there's definitely support here in England. Don't get me wrong, there's no support at all. But I feel like if it comes from an ex-player who's been through,
they can understand
the ups and downs in a good career, I think that they can relate more.
I think I really enjoy this, Erik. We're not even a quarter way through. People listening to this podcast know I love a deep chat. And
no, I think obviously in life, the main thing is your health. Yeah. And I've also been through that, not personally, but like the wife's been through a difficult period. So for me, going through all that, if I may say that, make you realize what is really important in life. And you can have all the things that you want in life, but your health and including your mental health is so important.
So let's go right back to the beginning.
Yeah.
So you grew up in a tiny, tiny village in the Netherlands.
Can you pronounce it?
Right. So is it to the point where a friend of mine is Dutch,
Okay.
And I sent them a message saying, please, can you tell me exactly how to pronounce it? I can spell it. I can tell you random facts about it. I can tell you that the postcode is 4157.
Yes, correct.
Einspike. I'm going to get hammered now.
Yeah,
because they actually
definitely.
asked me how to do it. And it's a really, really, really tiny village.
I think 700 people.
Yeah. So to put it into context for the Stoke fans that listen, I appreciate a lot of Stoke fans will be either from Staffordshire or South Cheshire. The school closed in 2015, the local primary school, because it only had 4 pupils.
Yeah, correct. In my group were 8 people.
Yeah.
8 people in my group.
So this is going somewhere. You know now how you are thinking about a life after football.
Yeah.
Your identity must always have been the football player. Because if you've got 8
Yes.
people in your class and you've said before that you weren't the standout player when you were growing up, etc., but you've always been known as the footballer.
Yeah, always.
How are you finding not being the footballer at this moment in time?
Oh, it's difficult. I'm not gonna lie. Having a 20+ career, it's something you're always gonna miss, and you always want to play as long as possible. And I always advise people to play as long as possible, because the moment you step out of that dressing room, that's what you miss the most. I find the hard bit, I believe, is the routine. The routine that you always, as footballers, is quite an easy life, meaning that you just show up on time and everything is scheduled out for you. Say like you have to be there at 9:30 till 10 o'clock. You can have breakfast, 10:15 meeting, 10:45 you have to be in the gym, 11 o'clock training, for example. So everything is scheduled out, and then you come home and just or downtime with your friends or family, whatever you have at that moment. So going from a really scheduled life, going into a non-scheduled life, it's just like waking up and you don't have to do anything. It's a big gap and a big difference.
What was a young Erik like?
Just don't want to go to school and play football. I remember when I was young at the school in Enspijk, can't wait to school's finished, go home, have a quick sandwich, and then ball between with the bike straight back to the pitch and play football.
So 14 years old.
Yeah.
Utrecht come calling. It's about half an hour away.
Yeah, half an hour away. Yeah.
So is that the closest big town slash city?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the biggest one.
So you then go to Utrecht.
Mm-hmm.
What is life like for you at that point? What are your friends saying to you? What are your family saying to you? What are the people in the 700 strong saying to you?
No, yeah, everyone, of course, is really proud. And like a little boy from a small village can go to the academy of FC Utrecht is amazing. But then I've always been grown up as like, just if you enjoy it, you're going to keep doing it. But the moment you don't enjoy it anymore, then you just stop it and you go back playing with your friends. And it always has been the intake. I never... Always, of course, you have a dream to become a professional footballer, but I never had the pressure from the household to become a professional footballer. So I just to try to enjoy the football as much as possible, even in the academy. And it turns out I was quite good in kicking a ball.
The debut for Utrecht, wasn't it a former... is it Frank... right, again, I can spell it, pronouncing it, and again, in the most respectful way possible. Is it Frank Boy?
Foucault-Boy. Yeah. Foucault-Boy was my manager. And he...
I'm letting you down on the pronunciation.
No, at least you're trying. Foucault-Boy was my manager at that point. And he just guided me towards the first team and really brought me slowly into the first team. Not too much media. Obviously now it's much bigger than it was before. But really slowly guided me towards the first team. And yeah, before I knew I was just playing in the first team. And yeah, it's a dream come true knowing that as a young boy, I came to the fan day at the stadium, watched the game, and became one of I think it's like a group they called Junior Tigers. So you can sign up to be part of the club. So
I've been to a match there. I went to see a match there.
Did you?
18 months ago. It's a good stadium.
It's a beautiful stadium.
It's a good little town.
Can you pronounce the name?
You're killing me, Erik. I'm trying my best here.
That's the typical Dutch, not Dutch name, but like the G is in the name. So in Dutch there's the
Yes.
So I know it's really difficult for the English people to do this.
It's a lovely little. Is it university town as well?
Yeah.
And the train station. As you come out of the train station, there's we went on a Sunday morning, so we did this thing where we went to 2 European football matches. So 2 matches in 2 countries in one day. So we started in Amsterdam, went to Utrecht, and when we got there, it was one of those places where it felt like it lived for the football club. Does that make sense?
I feel FC Utrecht is similar to PSV and similar to Stoke. It's always been a family club.
Yeah.
And that's why when I came to Stoke, I felt that I belong here. Because when I spoke with the manager, it was amazing to be wanted and be part of, like, hopefully at that time, some beautiful years.
PSV. Soon, I'm really not trying to brush over parts of your career, but I'm trying to get to Stoke as respectfully as I can.
Yeah.
Because obviously the people that are listening want to talk about your Stoke time, but PSV was obviously a massive time for you for many different reasons. Yeah. How do you look back on your time at the club?
No, obviously, like we just spoke about it, like the downside of my downside, the less good years for me at PSV, but become there is obviously one of the biggest clubs in Holland. And sign there is a dream come true as well, because you want to reach for the highest as possible. And going from FC Utrecht to PSV, that was the next step in my career. Playing Champions League, playing European football, is all things that with FC Utrecht I did part of it, but not Champions League. And obviously now I can say I played Champions League as well, not many games, but still I was there, and I just want to test myself on the next level, and it was great to be at PSV, great to play there, and as well the stadium, the fences, it was amazing.
If I'd have bumped into you in Club Blush at that time, or Villa Eindhoven, the nightclubs in Eindhoven at the time, what do you think I'd have thought? What do you think you'd have been like?
I would say a bit green, unexperienced. I mean, then by that. Because it's easy to say now, because it's just like the more you go further down in your career, the more you learn. And do you regret things? Maybe not. It's just like how you become and how you build up your career and how you build up your personality. But I believe when I just came at PSV, I was still young. I think I was 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years I was
You'd
there.
been 2012 and you were born, so you're 37 now?
Yeah.
So you'd been around that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, so around 20. So you're still a young boy, isn't it? So a young boy, and to still try to find your way into the football and daring to take the next step to a really big club. And so I think if you come across me at that time, I was just like still an unexperienced young boy, excited to play for a big team in Holland. And if you ask me like, what's your expectations? Just like, I just want to play football.
Would you been buying bottle service, or was you a bit more low key than that? Would you been sat in VIP?
Well, I'd probably start in VIP and then just go out and about.
Because that's where you met your now wife, isn't it?
I met my wife just before I signed for Stoke, and then I had to hurry back home because my friend was a DJ. And he invited me for a party, so I was like, I can't miss that party. And what better reason to celebrate my signing for Stoke? And then at that time, I met her in the VIP, but I met her there and then tried to have a conversation with her, but she didn't have it at all.
Just going back to the early point, Club Blush would have been a club in and around Eindhoven at that time. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. We're just going to brush over that.
Yeah, no, fine, it's good. Okay. I'm surprised how much you know. It's good. I love to surprise myself as well, but no, it's nice. It's deal with PSV.
It's not about me, Erik, but this level of detail.
Normally I've like conversations with people and just like overall a nice chat and mainly about football, not about like all clubs and bits and bobs, but especially not about my village. But no, it's nice. Like I said before, it's nice to go back in time and go through everything.
So I'm not, in the nice way, most respectful way possible, I'm not having that. I think you'd have been in the nice way possible. I think you'd been a quite gregarious character at this point. I'm not sure how well that translates.
I was quiet. I've never been really outspoken. Obviously, the more you learn in life and going through good things and bad ups and downs, I believe everyone has the right to be more outspoken in a respectful way.
So you get a phone call you have, and here, the fact your agent says Stoke City are interested.
Yeah.
Initial thoughts. Did you, right, question, and be honest now, because I'll know, and the people watching on YouTube, they will know. Did you know where Stoke was?
No.
Okay.
No clue. No clue. Obviously, I looked it up. I can tell you that. But so no, like no. My agent called me. Said like Stoke has interest in you. It's like, yeah, why not? I think at that point, I was in my career. Obviously, it just happened with the window. I was like, for me, it's best to move out of Holland, find somewhere else where I can play and enjoy. And as a little boy, I always wanted to play Premier League. Sunday morning, and 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning was always a match of the day. So having the opportunity missed out of Newcastle, not that we had like advanced conversations, but obviously I knew Newcastle was interested like a couple of years ago. Having the opportunity now to play in the Premier League was for me a no-go.
Was that for you? Did this feel like at the time when you heard that this club, the Premier League club, were interested, did that feel like I've made it now?
No, I never felt like I made it, and still till this day, I never felt like I made it. Simple because I look back at my career and I think it's going to take me a couple of more years to realize what kind of career I had. I keep repeating myself, but the main thing for me, and I think when you speak with other players, what I play with, I rather just play just before kicking off, play a game on my phone. Because I was not bothered. It's just my way to prepare for a game. I just relax and didn't have any strict schedule of like I need to eat pasta the night before. I need to do X, Y, and Z. I knew I could play football. So no matter who I played against, I'm just going to do my best and see what I end up with.
What were your initial thoughts when you walked into the club?
So the moment I went to Stoke,
I hate asking really broad questions like that.
No, it's nice because for me, obviously I didn't know where to go. So I flew with my agent and my dad, Mark Hughes, came to the training ground. It was his wedding day, I remember. And he came down to the training ground to have a conversation with me and my agent that he wanted to change Stoke and he had a vision about it. So I was like, yeah, cool. I just want to play football. I want to play Premier League and just want to continue and hopefully play as much as possible games in Premier League. And obviously do everything what I can to keep Stoke high up in the table. So fun fact for you, and no one knows this, I never said it out in public, but after that conversation, we went back in the canteen, have a drink and stuff. So my dad said like, you know who that is, right? I said, who? Who you spoke to? So yeah, that's my manager. Yeah, but you know who he is? Yeah, Mark Hughes. Okay, but you know who he is? Like, no. So then my dad said like he played for Barcelona, Manchester, blah, blah, blah. It's like, so I never told it in public, but my dad had to educate me who Mark Hughes was, basically.
And when you first walked in, right?
Yeah.
So you've signed, the manager's a new manager. You were the first signing.
That was his first signing, yeah.
So you walk in and there are Stoke's going through a period of transition. Obviously, they've had Tony Pulis for a long time.
Yeah.
Some really big name involved in the club have left. Rory Delap had left that summer as well, I think. Yeah. Is that right? And so Mama left as well, I think, that summer as well. And
I think so. Yeah. I can't remember.
So you've got a big period of transition.
Yeah.
Who was the first person that you go to in the changing room that puts their arm around you and has a good chat?
Obviously you have Ryan Shawcross, who knows the club inside and out.
But does he come across to you?
Yeah, no, he will.
Yes.
He will, because at the end of the day, he's the captain. So as a captain, knowing the club inside and out is his job as well to do. But I genuinely think he meant it in definitely in a 100% genuine way to help the new people coming in. And before you know, everyone is just like really nice and calm and chill. And at the end of the day, you're on the pitch and football is one language, no matter where you go. You can speak the language or you can't speak the language, but the football language is the same. You just need to know the good things and the bad things about the people, how they want to play with and stuff. But it's just like when at the moment I came in, I felt like home. And all those years, it just felt like, well, I'm at the right position, right place.
What were those initial training sessions like?
No, I mean, like no one likes a pre-season. So I did plenty of pre-season. But now it was, I think the good thing about the squad that we had, and with Mark Hughes as well, knowing he's obviously an ex-player, he knew what we thought, what we were thinking about too much running, because no one wants to, as a footballer, you don't want to run. Yes, you have to put your fitness in and stuff, but everything is with the ball, isn't it? And Mark Hughes is a baller, so luckily we had him as in pre-season and not Tony Pulis, because I've heard a lot of stories about Tony Pulis running up and down the hill. Like, I'm not made for that. I was thinking, like, I will call my agent and say, like, what the hell is going on here? But
Newcastle still interested.
I'm like, get me out of here. I'm not going to run up and down the hill, not at 6 o'clock in the morning.
In Austria as well.
Yeah, in Austria as well. But so yeah, no, like, I think we've been really lucky with Mark Hughes as a manager, knowing how to respect the players, treat the players, but also get the max out of every single player. And the group was just a good mixture of English, great British players with foreign players.
Did he get involved in training, Mark Hughes?
He still was showing off how good he can kick a ball, though. But no, I mean, obviously when my dad told me that, you start digging into his name and find out some stats and where he played for and what he did for in his career. And then it sounds weird, but as a player, you're going to respect your manager even more. Not only because he's a big name in the football, but he had a career that a lot of people dream of. So you will listen to him, but I was always going to be that person who's going to be honest and open about every single situation during my career. So I had some great conversations with him about football, some more difficult situations, but we always been honest with each other. And I think that's a great coach, to respect your players, and the door is always open.
What was it like coming to England? How did you find it?
I remember the first game that we played in the league was Liverpool away.
Was it 1-1?
No, I think we lost.
2-1?
I think we lost 2-1. I think I played against Dirk Kuyt and Ryan Babel, two fellow Dutchmen as well. But coming in England, I mean, I don't think you can have a better introduction in English football playing Liverpool away. That was everything you dreamed of during your career, playing in the Premier League, and then play Liverpool away. It's the best first game which you can play, I think.
I think you were up against, was it Coutinho? And Gerrard played in that match, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I played against some proper good players, I think so, in my 6 years at Stoke. So I just can't barely remember, to be honest.
If you've grown up watching Match of the Day and then your first game is against Liverpool, what are the people saying at home?
Good luck. That's the first thing. But good luck in the way thinking like, yeah, you guys gonna get beat. But I remember losing that game. I think it was 2-1. When we lost that game, I know it's the first game of the season, but still we felt solid in the game. Even though, like, obviously Liverpool was ahead of us and had more of the ball. But you know when you have the feeling on the pitch that yes, we lost a game, but there's more in it. So obviously, I think that the rest is history. Where we performed with Stoke, and we always knew having everyone together, keeping the core together, we could do some great things. What
made that team so special? Because if you speak to Stoke fans now of a certain age, there'll be a lot of people that listen to this that will be their first memory of supporting Stoke in those Premier League days.
Good memories, though.
Yeah, amazing.
You could pick worse.
Exactly. What was it? What do you think it was like to be in and around that, and what are your best memories of that season?
I think the best way to describe is that everyone was really respectful, and we felt like it was one group. Yes, he had the front lads. Yes, I spoke Dutch mainly in the dressing room, but there's never been a disrespectful manner towards other teammates or towards the coaching staff. And at the end of the day, no matter how big a fight was, a conversation was, or whatever you want to call it, when we on the pitch at 3 p.m. on a Saturday, we went to fire for each other. And not only because Stoke obviously had the stamp of like playing rugby football, kicking long balls and stuff, and Mark Hughes slowly changed the way how Stoke played. And I mean, we played some amazing games here at the Britannia, Bet365. But also like the away games against City, we won 1-0. Great assist by me, Mam Diouf dribble. But yeah, no, we had some great histories. I think the main thing was that at the end of the day, we always knew what our job was, and everyone respected each other's job on the pitch as well.
There's the quote from The American Office, isn't it? Which it says, you don't know you're in the good times until you're not in the good times anymore. I wish someone told you it's good time. Yeah. I've absolutely ruined the quote.
Yeah, but I apologize. It was Dutch for the viewers at home.
Yeah. Did it feel special at that time? Did you? I'm trying to get.
It didn't feel special at that right moment. Looking back at it, knowing what we had, and speaking about what we reached, what we achieved with Stoke, it becomes more and more special. You know, when you have that feeling, you just want to go to training and you can't wait for the weekend before the next game, especially at home, full house, the crowd behind you. No matter if you win or lose or draw a game, if you gave it your all, they're always going to respect you and always give you the props of well done, next time, we always have next week. So that always going to give you the confidence of yes, we can make mistakes. And maybe in a way that people saw us as just Stoke City. But soon, and quite soon, we changed the name of a Stoke City rugby team, kicking long balls, to a really good playing football side. And I mean, I think it's 3 years in a row, top 10, 4 years in a row. So, I mean, yeah, we definitely made a mark there.
Did you see anyone with your name on the back of the shirt?
When now?
No. That would be impressive at the time.
Yeah, I did. And I had a great relationship with the fans. What is just for me a normal thing to do, always open for a conversation and chat after the game. But no, I love the fans here. I always did from day one. And it was good to come back home, even when I played for West Brom and Burnley, to come here and be home again. But
in the most respectful way possible, you obviously gone on to be a Premier League footballer. You played in the Champions League, and people will look at you as a lot of people will say, he's my hero, he's my favourite player, etc., etc. But for you, you're a lad from a small village in the Netherlands, and to see someone in a completely different city that you didn't know where it was until a couple of years before you got there, with your name on the back of the shirt. I think I've obviously not played professional football, but if I saw someone with my name on the back of the shirt, that'd be one of those moments where
to all fairness though, if you look just back in your career, that you just but it starts from a young age. You must forget, when I came to Stoke, I already played God knows how many games, but 4 years for PSV, a big club. Obviously 2 years in the first team with FC Utrecht. So slowly you just get the more famous you get, the more people, when you go into a city, people turn their heads is it him not? So slowly you get used to the attention and people looking at you and stuff. So at one point you don't see it anymore. But then obviously after a game and before a game, we're always busy before a game, busy after the game. Having conversation with your fans at the club is just the best thing. But what you can do, you get to know your fans, you get to know the people that support you. And I found out that the Stoke fans, while I was playing here, is generation on generation. And then you just sorry to say that, but during the game, you just look in the stands and then you just see one generation, next generation. And then obviously sometimes you sit outside the team and just sit in the stands and look at the game. And if you just take a moment for yourself and look around you, it's beautiful to see when a club is supported for generation after generation, because that means you have a solid base.
As you've probably already gathered, I hate asking generic questions.
Mm-hmm.
But when you played in so many fantastic teams, the obvious question to ask is who was the best player. But I don't want to ask who the best player was. I want to know who you think was the most underrated player.
I played with at Stoke.
At Stoke. Is it one of those players where, we can reel off the players that everyone knows with Shaqiri, Arnautović, Bojan. Everyone knows that they were good players, but it was the one player in training where you think people didn't really give them enough credit for how good they were?
It's depending how you're going to see it. We had some amazing players, don't get me wrong. The most underrated player, even for myself, I think, it's two names that come up to me. I would say one is Charlie Adam, and one will be Asaidi that we had. So not the names that people maybe expect for me to say. Asaidi in a simple way, where you see what he does in training, with the technique, what I obviously learned from back in Holland. It's just lovely to see how fluid he can move and how good he can be with the ball. I don't think he showed everything what he could do in the Stoke shirt, but in training sometimes you can see him like doing amazing things. Stephen Ireland, similar. I think obviously he had a great career. People know what kind of player he was, but being on the pitch with him, seeing things on the field in training, he just was always like a couple of steps ahead. So obviously when you try to hide your pass to the right and X, Y, and Z, he somehow always read it. And that those kind of things you can see, like that's something special. Some players. You
were quite good friends with him, weren't you? You didn't go to his wedding?
Yeah, true. And he was at my wedding as well.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you were in the dressing room, everyone will have their favourite memory of you on the pitch. Everyone will want to talk about the famous match against Liverpool, all that kind of stuff. But do you have a favourite memory from being inside the dressing room? Did something happen? Did someone say something funny? Did someone do something funny? Was there a regular joker that you knew when that person turned up, you had to make sure that you weren't going to have dead fish stuffed in your wash bag, that kind of stuff?
No. To offense though, like I had thought about this for a long time, and I never. It was a joke going around that you started cutting off some laces of shoes and stuff, or change normal on match day when you have like black laces. But then slowly it started like cutting laces of clothing and stuff, and then slowly just like went up and up and up of like cutting clothes and stuff. So that was the only thing that I was aware of. Like, okay, I need to stay out of trouble. But other than that, I never met like a big hat in the dressing room whatsoever. So my dressing room time was more quiet than other dressing rooms that I hear stories about. But I feel like for me, it's not like one moment for me that jumps out in a dressing room moment or something like this.
Is there anyone that no one would have messed with? Do you know, like in any work, anyone listening to this now will have a workplace. They know that if X person turns up, they can take the mickey out of them. But Y person turns up and you do not say a word to them. Who is that person?
The obvious answer is obviously Arnautović. But Arnautović I was really good friends. I'm really good friends with him. Both of them are from the Balkans. The missus from the Balkans, he's from the Balkans. So yeah, they obviously, all the Balkans are related to each other and then speak the language. And then obviously you come together and you have a straight away connection, that warmth. I think Steven Nsonsi was a player that people don't want to mess about. He was that quiet player, but you know if he was snapped, then you could run.
Okay.
I don't think people say that about me though.
Crouchy?
No, for me, Crouch is amazing. For me, realizing that I played with Peter on the pitch is just amazing. Obviously, in my eyes, he's a legend of the game. Not only in the way how tall he is and how he's on the pitch, but in every single aspect, how he is as a player, how he is as a person, and just as a player, his technique is just amazing. Yeah, but Crouch, I was never afraid of Crouchy. No one I was afraid of, not even Arnautović.
Best memory of Peter Crouch?
Oh, best memory of Peter Crouch. When he wrote this book and said about me that I parked on the president's spot. No, best moment of Peter Crouch for me is just like realizing I was sharing a dressing room with him. And I never said that before, but the impact that he has on players, the knowledge that he has inside the game, but also outside the game, I didn't take it for granted, but I realize now how important he was in our dressing room.
His best goal?
His best goal? Mate, you asked me a question there. Not only his goals, it's just like the name Peter Crouch now, and even when he was playing, it is a huge name. It's massive inside English football, and I think all over the world. by having him in the dressing room together with all the other English people that we have, like Ryan Shawcross, Begovic is not English, but then we had like Charlie Adam, Glenn Whelan, John Walters. There's so many players that are well known here in England that knew how a Premier League needs to be played, that guide every one of us foreign lads basically of like, listen, this is England, this is the Premier League, and this is how we're going to do it. And they set the tone. Phil Bardsley, I mean, the amount of tackles I've seen coming across from Phil Bardsley and Mam Diouf. Yes, they've been like sometimes a bit feisty and like really close, but it is just, that's how you set the tone and that's how you prepare for a proper season. And that's what we had during those years.
The thing is, with someone like yourself, Erik, we could have this conversation 20 different times and I could ask you 20 different questions about Stoke. And because you were such an instrumental part in such a massive time for Stoke City and Stoke City fans, there's always going to be loads of questions that I want to ask you about, I want to talk to you about. We've only got a set amount of time and this is all about you and your life and your career. And so we've got to talk about other things that go alongside that. Coming up to 10 years this year. Of what?
You test me now, yeah? My marriage.
Yeah. So you met in that nightclub in the VIP?
We met at that nightclub 10 years ago. No, not 10 years ago, but like...
2014, was it?
2014, yeah. Yeah, so at that moment, just like, just, like I said, I just saw her, tried to connect with her, didn't want to have it, sent me to her best friend. And I was like, nah, I just want to try to contact with you. And then, from just like texting each other, I remember when I texted her like 3 days later. It's like, did you come home safe, blah, blah, the standard text you tried to send to be nice.
Was it a text or would it have been...
No, text. Text.
How did you get the number? Talk me through your game at the time.
I tried to ask her number, but she refused to give it to me. So a friend of mine, he...
Is this the DJ?
No, not a friend of the DJ. Okay. He came between our conversation and they had a conversation in the past before at that night. So somehow he managed to get his phone. So when I was speaking to now the wife, he was like interrupting me, like standing by me, like, I think you got a phone call. I said, what do you mean? I think you got a phone call. I'm like, dude, I'm talking, try to get
trying my best here. Yeah, come on.
Try to do all sorts. So I was like, I think you got like, and just like showing her phone, like, I think you got a phone call. So I was like, oh, I think I got your number now. So that's how she didn't even give it to me. Like a friend of a friend phoned my number with her phone. So I texted her 3 days later.
This is before Face ID.
Definitely.
Ruined it, Face ID.
Everything. 3 days later, I texted her like if she came home safe, blah blah, and her response was, "I could have been killed." I was like, okay, so that's what I had to deal with. But since then we just had like contact, and then we saw each other a couple of times, and I think the rest is history. So
2016 was the year of your wedding.
Yeah.
Gospel choir.
3/6/16.
Yeah, okay.
If you want to be precise.
There was a gospel choir, is that right?
It was all sorts. Back in Holland, we did it. Invited all the family. Obviously, the missus is from Bosnia, and they fled the war, the Bosnian war, the Yugoslavia war. So her family is not only like in one country, not in Bosnia. They are in different countries. So we had to did everything to get everyone together, and made a really special day. And we had a gospel there. We had a Bosnian band over there, Bosnian singer. So it was a great night.
12-kilo wedding dress.
Apparently,
flew back 4 times.
You know more than me. But, no, it was a beautiful wedding dress. A beautiful wedding dress. I know it was a lot of raki, is a Bosnian drink, has been drunk at my wedding.
You were in a magazine in Holland at the time, in the Netherlands at the time, with all the wedding stuff.
Oh yeah, we were. Yeah, so we had a call up with them to if they wanted to follow our wedding, and obviously I need to ask the boss. So the boss said yes, so I just followed. So they made some great pictures, and we shared them with them.
So you had your first child in 2021.
Yep.
But in 2023, it wasn't the greatest time for your family.
No.
Do you mind? Can we talk about that, or is it something you prefer not to talk about?
No, I can talk about it. It was just like going to ups and downs in life, isn't it? My wife was I was at West Brom, second season. Doing pre-season, just arrived in a hotel, just finished training, getting shower, getting ready for dinner. And then my wife called me. I knew she had a check, but it's just, like she had a check before, and they said like, it's probably nothing, but let's check it out. And they asked her like, do you want to go to NHS or private? So NHS was like a couple of weeks waiting time, and said like, no, you just go private, and the sooner we find out there's nothing, then the more we can relax. She called me and I was like, hey babe, like just finished training, just getting a quick shower now because we have dinner. But before I could finish everything what I had to say, I just could tell in her eyes, crying, that she had breast cancer. So at that point, I was sharing my room with Brenda Thomas Asante, and he asked me if I was okay, and obviously I said, nah, but just leave me for a while. And he was the first person I told, but I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I had to go home. I didn't know how to stay. My mind was everywhere but except the right place. And then in like a 5 minutes time, I just ran down, see the manager, spoke to the manager. I said, listen, I need to go home because my wife is diagnosed with breast cancer. And I'm going to go home now straight away. Luckily, my car was there. So, like I said, I don't know how I drove home, but came home, and then, you just go hospital appointment to hospital appointment, speak with the doctors and this and that. That's the worst thing, not the worst thing, but everyone knows about breast cancer in general. But when you have to go through it in life, personally, if it's yourself or your partner, you just find out that you just know nothing about cancer.
And at this point as well, you're a very, very new young family.
Yeah.
So there must have been, I'm not trying to get too much into your head about this, but there must have been so many things going through your mind of what you're going to do, how's it going to, you think best case scenario, you think worst case scenario, that must have been the worst thing about it.
I think the worst thing is obviously finding out that she had breast cancer. But then as well that she was pregnant as well is something that is decision here you have to make. And we had a really good doctor at West Brom, Nick Tate, who really helped us going through this time with the right guidance of finding the right doctors, finding the right advice, finding the right treatment, and everything that comes with it. And still to this day, when we have something and when we are over concerned, if it's related to me, or to the wife, to the little one, we always call him for a second opinion. But I wish no one to go through that time.
Thank you for talking about that. I appreciate it. It's very, very difficult.
Thing I speak about is like, I speak about it loads of times. And I mean, even these things, sometimes it's easy for me to talk about it, and sometimes just hits me.
I suppose it's one of those things as well where you don't know what people are going through that are listening and watching this. Mm-hmm. So to know that other people have been through and come out the other end is obviously very good for them. But also from your own point of view, I imagine, and again, it's easy for me to say, I imagine, put yourself in that position, but it's just a really difficult time for everyone involved.
I mean, phoning my parents, phoning her parents, telling her daughter had breast cancer is not the nice thing to do, is it? And that's why I say, like, a lot of times we judge people, a lot of times we think we know everything, but so much more things behind a person. Personal life, like I didn't tell the group till I was back, maybe 5 weeks later. I just showed up at the training ground, and like the missus sent me to the training ground, like, you have to go now. I was like, I can't leave you. So my mom is here, everyone is here. Don't worry, it's nothing you can do. You just go and have your life and go play football, try to get your mind off me. So obviously having a little one as well running around, not knowing what's wrong with mommy. It's hard. Having the right support and having everyone there makes it easier, if you can say that.
This is the thing as well. When football fans, they don't know a lot of the time these things are going on. Like if you just spoke to a West Brom fan at the time, they'd have no idea all that was going on.
No, and West Brom keep it really quiet. What I appreciated because it was my voice to say to the people and say to the players. And I asked Brendan as well, Thomas Asante, what I thought, like, please keep it between us because this is something I need to tell the players. I don't know how serious it is. We don't know nothing yet, and so obviously he did a prayer straight away in the room. So yeah, these kind of things as well going through the course of the PFA makes you realize that it's good to speak about the good things and the bad things, because I feel when I speak about it is a relief. Some people are different, don't get me wrong. Everyone has to do what fits them well. But the worst thing is to swallow every single emotion that you have as a human, but also as a player. Because as a player, there's a lot of pressure from the outside, I think more now than it was before. And I think it's really important to speak out, speak your truth in a respectful way. And I always believe when you're honest and have respect for each other and have a normal conversation with each other, you can agree to disagree. But at least you have the conversation and you get it out of the chest. The other person may get out of the chest, and any bad blood that you have between you guys is solved. Or you might can help me with a certain thing and I can help you with a certain thing. And at the end of the day, life is hard enough. And I think we need to be there for each other to help each other make our lives much easier, much calmer, much more respectful.
All okay now then?
Fingers like touch wood, yeah, she's all healthy, all clear, and it still is. It's going to be like this.
Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure to speak to you.
Yeah.
But thank you for being so open and honest.
No, of course.
Because you could have come on and you could have just answered generic answers to questions.
No,
but you didn't, so thank you.
No, you don't have to thank me for that. Like I said before, I think we need to, we men, we have to talk out as well. We have to speak up. We have to talk about our feelings, and there's nothing wrong not to speak about your feelings. It's funny because we're speaking about this now, and back in Holland, like one of my old teammates, they just released like a documentary kind of way, and named like Real Men Don't Cry, and especially about this, like us men, we are allowed to cry, we are allowed to speak our truth, our feelings, and be there as well, be a voice as well. And I think if people find the right person to speak with, because I can speak maybe lovely with you, and I can empty my chest and empty my heart with you, and other people can find someone else. And I think that's really important for your general health to speak out and release all the pressure that we have in life in general.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Cheers for coming out.
Thank you.